Exactly, Alex.
But that's why we
I
only
don't-
want the 1% motherfuckers who are out here trying to make the best damn content, be number one in the
I
industry.
don't
If you ain't trying
only-
to do that, then you ain't with us.
Okay, by the way,
You know
you
what
don't
I'm
need to
saying?
make
You gotta stand for
TikToks.
some shit.
You
You gotta
don't need to
stand
make.
for some shit.
God damn.
Yeah. But the most dynamic content creators out there and entrepreneurs, they're physical. It's not like they're doing Zoom calls and getting content. Like, show up on a virtual call, we'll get like 10 clips. Like, that's fine for someone who's starting off, or if that's what you got to do, that's totally fine. Like, we're doing it right now. But to have that be the core of your content, we can film way more dynamic videos.
Also, like the fact, Alex, that you can get this whole arm up and running, and this agency is going to manage all those 9 people for you. And you're just going to deal with them, right? With that 1 point person. And with a good agency, it's good, man. They fly into us.
But how often are they going to fly into you? Once every quarter? Like,
Sure.
It's not realistic for a busy CEO.
How is that not realistic? How much content are you getting from 2 hours? I can get a lot. Okay, we are live. It is the great debate. We've been talking about this for so long. Alex has an advantage because of me understanding this kind of in-house side a little bit more. I don't want to say I'm coming over to your side, man, but
You are. It just takes time. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
So why though? Why don't I wanted to let you throw the first punch. Okay? So if you're down. But listen, give it to me. Why? Why is just talk about throw this in-house punch. Like if somebody is saying to you, I don't agree, man. This is a vendor army. This is a vendor world, in-house. Who wants to have more W-2 workers? Freelancers are inconsistent, right? All those things that we could throw out there. Why the in-house? Throw the first punch. Just open us up, man. We're going to have a conversation after this and Q&A. I'm going to monitor the chat. I'll let you rock and roll, and we'll just get this moving, Alex.
So we're talking about, should you outsource all of your content and brand to a marketing agency, or should you build an internal content team, a nimble, scrappy internal content team? That's what we're talking about. I think the first thing we need to define is like, what does it mean to outsource your content and brand, right? Because if that's not clear, it's like hard, it makes this debate kind of hard to tackle. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and then the second thing is, who's the audience that we're talking to? You know, because it depends. If you're a 7 to 8 figure business, that might be different than if you're a solopreneur, than if you're an enterprise, $1 billion company. So when I say outsource your content, all of your content and your brand to a marketing agency, I mean that you're owning nothing basically internally. You are just looking at an agency, you're paying them money, and then they're producing content on your behalf. The reason we've seen that not work time and time again over the last several years, and we used to do done for you stuff. So like this has come from someone that actually did it. The reason we got out of it is because we realized how ineffective it was. And what I started to notice, and what you might start to notice this too, all the coaching and consulting and mentoring I was doing with clients, that side of the work, those people were taking off. They owned it. They built nimble, scrappy teams. They were getting results. They were getting traction. And all of the companies that like a CEO is like, just do our marketing for us. All of those companies were getting underwhelming results. They weren't happy. It didn't sound like them half the time. And so we made the move to say, look, the content's going to be higher performing, faster, and in your voice if you own this internally and bring it in as part of your culture and ecosystem, which is what I think it really should be. And it is for the best entrepreneurs right now in the world, versus outsourcing all to an agency.
What is outsourcing marketing different than outsourcing payroll and your janitorial services? Like, talk about that. Why? Because I feel like you would agree that there are things you can outsource to vendors and it's okay.
Well, yes, because you're talking about a message that you're trying to communicate to the world, a brand that you're trying to connect to an audience. If I got a janitor, that's not connected to customers. So
I could make an argument.
But he or she could come in and do a good job, and I can validate, is it clean or is it not clean? It's pretty straightforward, right? So there are certain tasks that, yes. Like, and the other thing side of it is like, we don't outsource or we don't in-house everything. So like we have a person that does our website. They maintain our website, they design it. I don't want to bring someone in to learn coding and like how to design and all that stuff. Although I think that's going to be drastically changed with AI, where you might not need any of that stuff in the future.
So who's the so the website is it's like a business, like a website company?
Yeah,
Okay.
but what we do is we provide the branding, the messaging, the content, the videos, how it should be structured. And then we give it to them and say, go put this on the website, maintain it. If there's any bugs, we want you to handle it, secure it, all that type of stuff.
Well, couldn't you say though, well, I provide the branding, the messaging, the content, and then I hand it to a production company, just switching from website to content. I hand it to a production company and then they just edit it and then they hand it back to my social media people and then they just post it. What's
to
the
my
difference?
social media people? Who's the social media person? In-house?
Yeah. But well, that's what I'm saying.
That's an in-house team. That's an in-house team.
Yeah, but not the editors though.
Okay, but the editors. So you're talking about only the editing you'd outsource,
just for example.
Right.
Yes. So you could.
How much are you going to pay? How much are you going to pay an agency a month to edit?
I don't know. I mean, some of them are 100 a clip. Some of them are 500 a clip.
500 a clip.
Well, there's we could both agree there's no industry standard.
Right, but there's a range, right? So we could
there's
say
a range,
3,000 to 5,000.
Because like to your point, right? I'm not going to teach somebody how to code. Well, to their point, well, yeah, I'm not going to teach somebody how to edit videos. Why don't we just have a video editing company and our social media manager just manages that relationship? But then we don't have to hire these video editors and audio editors and right. So there's like a mix here that can be possible that you would agree could work.
With editing specifically, though, how much would you say it would cost roughly a company to hire?
Well, give me an example. Give me the deliverables, and I'll tell you how much it would cost.
Let's say they're going to post 5 videos a week.
Okay, 5 short form.
And maybe a podcast. Maybe let's not even say podcast. Let's say 5 videos a week. Let's say 5 videos a week, and maybe they're doing a couple. Maybe they're doing a couple like teasers, trailers, clips for promotional stuff or website videos, whatever it might be. So let's just say it's 5 to 7 clips a week.
4,000 or 5,000 a month.
Right. So it's like, why would you spend 4,000 to 5,000 a month on an external agency when you could spend $1,500?
Because I don't have to train them. Because they've done it for 100 other companies too, right? This editor has worked for his uncle, right?
Then why wouldn't you outsource?
They're American or they're stateside and they understand the culture. I mean, there's just a lot of reasons. I like the mix.
Right, but why wouldn't you then outsource the social media manager?
That's a good question.
So that's what I'm saying, right? Dude. So to me, it's like, are you going to build your in-house content
but
team?
This is what people think, though. This is how people think. They
and
go,
by the way,
how could I piece this together?
Yeah.
Right.
What's up, Corey? What's up, dude?
I was going to say, dude,
man.
chat is blowing up, by the way.
Yeah. So here's the thing, dude. You can, if you want to edit, if you want to outsource the editing portion, but then the founder, CEO, you have an in-house content director, social media manager, and you guys are really owning the content internally, I'm not mad at that. That's totally fine. Yeah. My point would be, why would you spend 3,000 to 5,000, 6,000 a month when you could do it for $1,500 a month? And that internal person, and you hire the right person, and now you've got an internal person that's doing it better. And then like our editors, I mean, I don't know, people probably don't know this. Like they think we would just use like freelancers or something like that. Our editors that have been with us for some of them 2-3 years.
Us too.
We provide salary. We provide benefits. They're overseas. They're in the Philippines. Health, dental, vision, bonuses, salary. But that cost us still less than an agency. Yeah. And now we got a badass team that understands my brand at such a high, like I can just literally send them. Yes, it's a little more work on the front end to train and work with them.
But that's one time.
On the back end. Yeah. You're able to get, I mean, you literally can just send a clip in and they know the company, they know the brand. It's like everything is there. The other side is I just don't think there's much runway for an agency to begin with, because if you think about AI, I mean, we're maybe 1-2 years away from where you're going to be able to plug in a raw video clip, 60 seconds, and have a social media manager choose what style do you want this edited in. You have your brand colors, they have styles, and you just pick a style. And you're like, this style is fucking gangster. Let's go with this. Yeah. And then there's not even an editor in the mix. So it's like, for me, it's like also preparing companies for what's to come. It's like, Meta just announced that all their ads are going to be AI driven in next year, meaning that you just tell them what you want, the result, and then you provide the creative, and then they're going to help line everything up. We've got now AI agents that we're building out that are becoming social media managers and be able to post content, write copy, have you approve it. Like everything's you got smartphones at your fingertips now. You got wireless mics that are, $80. you've just got all the technology, talent abroad, and AI on your side. It's like there's never been a better time to say, why don't we think about doing this internally versus outsourcing?
And listen, why don't we? But let's also talk about. We're talking about organic content here, right? I mean,
Both.
Okay, so this is actually really good. So this is the juxtaposition. If you didn't see the Chris Walker episode, right? He is not. He would be partially with you on this, but he would be partially not. And if for folks watching, if you want us to do one all together, I think that would be a great idea. There's also PR, ads, all this other, so it would depend then, right, on the size of the company and really what they need, because what you're saying is we could just make some podcasts. We can have AI and automation do a lot of this work now. You can have your own internal team that's pretty small. Mm-hmm. Okay, but now we're going to do ads. Who in the internal team of video editors does ads, right? So then what do? Do we hire an ad agency?
Learn it.
But, okay,
you hire a coach or a consultant, like I have done, like you have done. We have all done. All smart entrepreneurs have done this.
Yes,
bigger companies do it too. You bring in somebody. You go, I'm going to pay you money to teach me things that I don't know and to expedite my results. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And so that person comes in and goes, oh, you were going this way? Yeah, you're going to make 50,000 mistakes that way. But if you go this way, you're going to see a nice bed of roses and, a rainbow or a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yep.
And so that's what you bring someone in. I literally did that recently with LinkedIn ads. Like I got serious about LinkedIn ads and now we're generating an 8-to-1 return. I knew nothing about ads, never run an ad in my life. I dabbled myself, got a little bit of results. I said, how do I expedite this? Brought in a coach and consultant, 2 of them actually, and then talked to LinkedIn and got their advice. And then I was there. It's like, it's not rocket science. That's what I think. It's like, there's some companies out there like make it seem like it's this huge, confusing, crazy thing. Like ad agencies do that all the time, when in reality, it's actually gotten much simpler. And if you have an organic brand to layer on top with the ads, obviously that helps a ton. But my point is like, fucking dude, learn it. Bring in someone to help like learn that shit, or just learn it yourself. It's not going to take you 50,000 years. But I mean, but once you learn it, now you have that internal data. We are embedding our knowledge and expertise into someone's business versus them outsourcing. And now that company leaves. What happens when the agency shuts down or moves or goes out of business? Yep. Your content's done. You don't have any internal processes or systems, or you don't know how to hire the next person because they left. You don't have any of that stuff. Like you're literally screwed.
And let's talk about both. So I worked for a 9-figure trade school. And so, $250 million a year. They had a CMO, they had an internal team, and they had vendors.
Yeah. Who was the internal team? What did it look like?
It was CMO, VP of marketing, social media manager.
That's too many damn freaking decision makers and not enough executors, man. Were they putting out high quality video content every single day on multiple different platforms?
Yes, TikTok.
They were?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
They were good. Well, guess who came in?
You did.
Exactly. Well, and the other marketing vendor had been there for years. And guess what? That CMO left. Marketing vendor went with that CMO.
There you go.
See? Right. So, but that's a vendor.
You helped them build in. What did you help them do?
100% trained the internal podcast team.
Right.
Then this is the success story, right? CMO leaves, gets a different job, better job. Whole editing team leaves, gets a different job, better salary, right? And so, but that old client, they're left. Everybody left, which is obviously a cultural issue, not really really a content issue, right? But what I'm saying, there like if you doing the ads, right? You could have found somebody who's like a small ads vendor, and they could have worked fine with you. It could have been great, and that could have been okay.
And they were terrible. Like we did that for a client. They were horrible. I'm not going to name the names because I actually like the guy, but the copy it's so out of touch. It was like pictures, still images that never did anything. We just used the content that we posted organically. It wasn't like we had to come up with that. It was like, dude, like, and that's why and then my next YouTube video, I'm going to lay out the framework on exactly how we did it. But it's just like, man, the information, I think you got to ask yourself this question as a company.
Yep.
Is building a brand and creating content, high performing content, a core aspect of the business or not? And if it is, I think at minimum, it's got to be 70% internal. If you want to outsource for editing, fine. Like by all means, do it. Like, right. Like it is. I think I can show you how to do it cheaper and better internally if you want. But if you want to outsource it, cool. No problems with that.
Yes.
But to say the old model, what we're rebelling against, which companies need to have a brand story with a villain in it, and what you need to take a stance on which side you're on, Brian.
Yeah.
No,
I'm on both.
Exactly. Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is we're rebelling against the traditional marketing agency model, where it was like this, and you know how this how it went 5-10 years ago. It was like, hey, we need marketing. Call up the agency. They're going to do all our stuff. They're going to do website, SEO. They're going to produce content. They're going to post it for us. I don't got to touch it. I don't got to see it. That's not how it works anymore. Yeah. And we know that because all the best companies and entrepreneurs are in the front seat of their content machine. And yes, they have editors and they have teams. Maybe they have an outsourced person that does a couple things, or Fiverr does whatever, but they're owning it. Like they are really owning that process and the strategy behind it. But they brought in coaches, consultants to help them expedite the results.
Yeah, I think you're talking about a business philosophy. I mean, not everybody abides by that, right? Like not everybody agrees with that. And that's the thing. Like that's why I like both, because I wouldn't have gone to that CMO and been like, hey, you have an agency? Agencies are bad. They don't work. You need to do these ads internal.
You should have done that.
He would have, well, he would have been like, well, but look at the ROAS.
Yeah. No, if it's good, it's good.
Right?
Don't break
if
something
it's good,
that's
it's 100%. Yeah. Then I would have just been, so there's times when going, well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like it's actually is not the not the solution, right? To change it. Like there are, I mean, listen, this was my point on the Chris Walker one too. I mean, there are just great agencies out there. Now you tried to just hire one and they were shit, and that was one. There's 950,000 others.
Yeah, but there's a lot, dude. I mean, we hear these stories every day. I'm sure you do too. It's just like, but there's also the flip side.
But you rarely hear a success story. People don't talk about them. They talk about the shitty agency that they hired for a month that they didn't even vet any other ones, and they just assume because they like the guy.
All the marketing agencies are on social talking about how great they are, though. So we see that side too. But the thing with Chris Walker, like I'm sure he has his own content team. I would imagine that.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like it's too important for him to outsource. Let's go to some comments. Okay, so we got. I'm hearing far too much agreement in here. Yeah,
yeah, I know, right?
Well, hopefully, since you dropped that, we got a little bit of back and forth. But Daniel Allison said, "Let's go, Corey. We encourage our clients to bring more production in house, but because of the turnover, we are most consistent team members they have, and it always defaults back to us. So how do you overcome that? Well, that's a leadership and culture issue. If you've got turnover, like." I mean, dude, that shouldn't be just affecting the marketing. That's affecting sales. That's affecting operations. It's affecting customer service. Like, so to me, it's like, how do you not lose anybody? I mean, you have to figure out how to keep people.
I have something on that too.
Yeah. What do you got?
Hey, so you bring in somebody to produce your podcast, right? Agencies are thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Cool. You want a freelancer? Okay. There's no solutions, only trade-offs. The first month is going to suck. They're not going to get the copy. They're going to have mistakes. They're going to have revisions. So does an agency. So does the person you hire.
For sure.
Right? So it's like, that's when I see like, hey, we have a lot of this turnover. Who's training? Is anybody being trained? Is there any expectations of what the job is? Is there any does it say, and maybe this isn't crazy to you. It should say no spelling errors in the thing. Like if you don't, I'm sorry, but nothing is implied to me personally. When you hire somebody to work for you, to do things for you, if it is ambiguous or it is not said, how is that an instruction? Right? Like this is what I see with the turnover for me personally with my clients too, of, hey, we're on the 4th or 5th podcast producer. Maybe it's us. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would default to. Is your point is leadership culture, which is what I'm talking about. But even more specifically, what do you do? Well, you have to look at what are we doing but not doing? Well, we're not saying, here's the there's no expectations set,
Here's my questions for Corey, right? So we encourage our clients to bring more production in-house, but because of turnover, we're the most consistent team members they have, and it always defaults back to us. So how do we overcome that? My first question is, why do you encourage your clients to bring in more production in-house if you're seeing the constant turnover? Like what is still making you, even though you see the turnover, what's still making you push forward bringing it internal. The second question is, what do you do for the clients versus what do you encourage them to do in-house? I think we'd have some good topics if he's still here. Corey's the man. If he's still here, drop
Yeah,
those
if you're in here, Corey,
answers.
hit us, man.
So
yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm still on both.
because you do both, but what do you
I do
believe in
both.
more? What do you believe in more though?
It's not, they're two different things. So it's not which I believe in more.
Have you ever tried on the coaching consulting side to work with somebody to build out their own internal content team?
I've trained internal content teams.
Right.
Yeah.
But from scratch?
Yeah.
Or existing ones that were already there?
Both.
And what have you seen happen when you try to build internally versus just send it to outsource?
When we try to build internally, it's slower. It's more difficult for the client, especially if they're not a manager and they're more so a, creative or ideas founder, and they don't have the number 2 ops person or analytical person to help. That's where I see a lot of issues. I also have seen a lot of ambiguity around what the marketer is supposed to be doing.
Right.
And so those
Yeah. But that stuff and you don't do that, I understand, obviously. But that's where I was going next, is like a big part of, and where I think a lot of marketing agencies are going to try to move to helping companies build internal content teams because of technology at your fingertips, because of AI, because of outsourced or talent abroad that's more cost effective. You're just going to be able to do more with less. And so reality is a lot of marketing companies are going to look at our model and go, we should be offering this. Like you guys offer it, right? As a option, sort of. Like I think a lot of marketing agencies are going to start to offer that as well. The question is, you're now dipping into a different arena because now instead of just marketing, it's people development, it's coaching, it's setting clear expectations, it's having a vision, it's development of them. And so that is and that's where I love. And that's why I think we're good at this as our team. We enjoy doing that stuff, right? It's like, you got to pump people up. You got to inspire, you got to understand where they're trying to go.
And listen, truthfully, you do kind of get to skip that with an agency.
Totally.
Yeah.
You totally do.
So,
you definitely
100%. I mean, other than the person who is managing the relationship, I think we're both in agreement on traditional agency and then account manager relationship it should have never existed to begin with.
Right.
But I'm with that. But I also like the fact, Alex, that you can get this whole arm up and running, and this agency is going to manage all those 9 people for you. And you're just going to deal with them, right? With that 1 point person. And with a good agency, it's good.
But how are they here's the other thing with the outsourcing your content. How are they going to film videos with the founder and CEO? Dynamic videos.
I'll tell you right now.
Traveling
we're going to get on
site.
Zencastr.
How are they doing
Or we're going to fly out. Or we're going to get on Zencastr.
But how much are you going to fly out, dude? Because
people fly into us.
Like I
don't even go to them, Alex. They fly into us.
But how often are they going to fly into you? Once every quarter? Sure. Like it's not realistic for a busy.
How is that not realistic? How much content are you getting from 2 hours? I can get a lot.
It's not realistic to fly and spend an entire day and a half, 2 days of a busy CEO to get video content.
Really?
Like that's just not good. Yeah. Why would you do that when you could do it at your home with your smartphone?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You asked, could they? Yes. I'm not telling them to. Some of them want to do it in person. Yeah.
But the most dynamic content creators out there and entrepreneurs, they're physical. It's not like they're doing Zoom calls and getting content. Like show up on a virtual call, we'll get like 10 clips. Like that's fine for someone who's starting off, or if that's what you got to do, that's totally fine. Like, we're doing it right now. But to have that be the core of your content, to miss out, like right now I've got Jim here. He's our content director for the summer. He's a summer intern. And then we've got another employee that does, when he's not here, we'll meet in the office once a week on Wednesday, and then we'll work from home the other days. We can film way more dynamic videos. I can, and by the way, you don't even need somebody to help you record. Why don't you just, next time you're on a live or a guest on a podcast, or you're talking to a client, set up your damn phone with a wireless mic just like this, and actually be the content, which is like why I wear all those shirts. I am the content. This isn't just about like you have to go create content. You are the content. You got to be able to record and document the things that you're doing strategically, but you need to know how to do that. And then you need a process and a system to say, as soon as that raw video is recorded, I airdrop it to my MacBook, drop it in a G drive, and then automation and AI takes care of 80% of it. And then there's an editor in the Philippines or wherever that edits the video. It comes back, the social person posts it. Boom. All I did was show up. You're missing out on learning that process and those skills. And like, These are valuable skills of the future, of the now and the future. You're not going to build those unless you know that. Like when I show people that, they're like, oh, why am I not recording like these client calls? Like, why am I not recording when I'm at the airport and shit, just sitting there? Because they've never been taught that. Yeah. They've never been shown how to do that at a high level because they've always just kicked it out to somebody else that's like doing it for them. So I think that's another reason you go in-house if you can, is you've got flexibility and freedom and creative. You're all about creative, dude. You're a creative dude. You're a rapper, podcast producer, host, coach. Like that's, dude, flex your creative muscles. We just recorded another video. It just came back from editing today, the AI CEO episode number 4. That's not possible if I don't have someone here physically with me. Like we are constrained by a digital computer if we're not able to express ourselves and like have somebody film me and walk around with me and like, man, you're just missing out on so much amazing content. So from a creator standpoint, that's my point too, right? There's all the other logistical price, like process, authenticity, all that stuff. But just from a creative standpoint, dude, you and Jack do a lot of in-person stuff, right? That's different if you're digitally and you're across the country.
Well, we do a lot of virtual too. You
do virtual too, but you do in person because that's a different vibe, dude. Like you're performing at Rapid on stage. That's different if they have you on a TV screen and being like, yo, I'm here live. Like it's not the same shit. So you know what I mean?
Yes. So
we got a couple.
All right. I got one thing on that.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So just for anybody who did just watch that or is on the recording, I would suggest going back. I want you to listen to what Alex is saying and listen to that and imagine you doing all of that and then see if that sounds like work or if that gets you excited.
Exactly.
If it sounds like work,
don't do it.
There we go. But exactly, Alex.
But that's why we only work with the 1% motherfuckers who are out here trying to make the best damn content, be number one in the industry. If you ain't trying to do that, then you ain't with us.
Okay, by the way, you don't need to make TikToks. You don't need to make TikToks to be number one in your industry. You could buy a Forbes article and have it say you're number one. But what I'm saying
it's not about that. It's not about even going viral. It's just about, man, you want to be the best at this. And if you do, then let's fucking roll.
Yeah, but being the best at content creation does not mean being the best at what you do. These people, Alex, do not want to become. I don't work. Most of my clients are not creators, man. They never want to do that. They don't. It's weird to have a guy following you around with a video camera. That's weird, bro. That's weird.
But
that feels weird to people.
But that's also how. But look at all the top entrepreneurs right now. Personal brand top entrepreneurs. What are they all doing?
It's so weird, bro.
Podcast. People recording them.
But you don't, what I'm saying is you don't have to be this guy who's out there, let's kick. No, you don't have to.
Of course you don't.
No, you can fly in. You could go into a beautiful podcast studio. We can record for 2 or 3 hours. And guess what? The content's not going to be that much different. It's okay. You're a CEO. Okay. But this is the thing. I get it. But I get that. But what if you don't want to be a creator?
You don't be it.
That's what I'm saying. But you can still get great content. So, but this is what we've proved. We have clients, hundreds of thousands of downloads, 600 plus clients from one podcast, and they don't even log into social media. They have never made a TikTok. They've never had a guy follow them around. They've never done it, and they don't have to do it. You don't have to if you want to make great content.
Of course, but this is like the argument of being like, you don't have to write a book. You don't have to go on stages and talk in front of people. Yes, you don't. But all of the greats did. They wrote a book. They built a legacy. They got on social. They, got on personal or actually live stages. And then now a lot of virtual stages. So it's like for us, it's like, yes, if you want to be the leading brand in your industry, I think this is how you do it. Like it's in-house content team. It's dynamic content. It's being able to film in different locations.
Yeah.
I may get off a customer call and I'm like, damn, they keep bringing up that same point. I had 3 customers this week bring up the same objection or pain point, right? I'm going to look right at my content director that's here for the summer, Jim, who's crushing it. And I'm going to go, Jim, let's make a video on this. How do you do that with an
Dude,
agency?
I wish they could work for you, right? That's the thing.
You don't.
Listen, like, you're the CEO. CEO, we've both worked for a lot of people. They're not like this, bro.
Yes,
are they?
What do you mean? Not like what, though?
They're not as exciting and fun.
It's not about it being exciting. I am my personality, and that's my personality, right? Just like you're a rapper, no one's going to fucking rap, right? That's like me watching a rapping video and be like, Ryan, CEOs aren't rappers. It's like, of course they're not, dude. I'm not asking them to be a rapper, right? And I'm not asking people to be like me. Like there's all types of different personalities. You got anywhere from your Grant Cardones to your Gary Vee's to your Hormozis to your Daniel Priestley's to your Diary of a CEO, who's more like calm and collected,
Yeah.
like very thoughtful, like the way he talks is like super articulate. You got a million different personalities and vibes. And so it's like not about trying to be one. It's just like figure out what that is for you. My point is like the authenticity and speed and the quality of the content you can create. Again, back to my example, I get off this live. I'm like, Jim, I just thought of 3 ideas. Let's go make it. Smartphone, wireless mic. We're in business.
I can't
do
that,
that.
Man.
Agency, hey, dude, when can we fly out?
See, but you can't. There are agencies that do that, but there are. But listen,
but they're not doing that every day, right? Like every day you have that. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. You don't have to always create the content. You are the content. You need to be thinking about the ideas that you have, the thoughts that come across your desk, the conversations you have with customers and prospects. Oftentimes, literally just, you don't got to make up a video. Just record the stuff that you're doing.
And it's going to probably sit on your phone. My argument is don't put your ideas down. When you sit down for what our clients do for 2 hours a month and record 4 podcasts, they put it in there because then it's evergreen. It goes on YouTube. It goes on podcasts. It ranks on Google, all that stuff. And then they don't have to create any other content. You don't have a guy following you around. You don't need to make videos on your phone. You don't need to make TikToks. That's also a full reality. And also, to both of our points, there are people who are the best, number one in the world, best in their industry, and they just write books. Or Seth Godin writes blogs. He's not out there making TikToks.
Oh, but he's on podcasts and like
that's what I'm saying.
But stages and stages, and so it's like
I'm really looking at the day-to-day, though. I just don't think that a lot. And listen, I get your point of they should. I'm not here to tell them that they should do anything. That's just not how I roll. But they should have a guy following them around. They should record into the phone. Well, for me, I'm like, no, you don't. You don't have to.
You don't have to have somebody following you around. I think that's the extreme version of it, right? And Jim's
well, are you the extreme, or is that the norm?
I'm the extreme. But what I'm saying is,
but it seems like you're advising people to do that. No. Be the extreme. Okay.
No, what I'm saying is like everyone has their own personality and how they do things, right? So your point, like we instruct some of our clients to do podcasts or email or occasional LinkedIn posts. Like there's different formula for every company. My thing is like, why not have the speed, the flexibility, and the authenticity to be able to like do that internally?
I think with the logistics, like we agree.
If you're doing
who's doing it, I'm more.
Right, but really quickly on a podcast, like I would just help them set up their own podcast in their house or in their home office.
Yep.
Like we don't need to move, travel, fly, pay all this money, do hotels.
I have clients who are still on Zoom. I've been telling people to not use Zoom to record for 5 years, but they have so many downloads that they've never done. They've done 2 in-person episodes at 2 conferences in the last 5 years.
Oh, he said there's echo going on with the audio.
Oh,
I'm not getting any echo. Are you?
No, I've got headphones.
It shouldn't be. I got these in, and I'm talking in here, so we shouldn't have any.
All right. Well, I turned mine down either way.
Okay. So hey, back to the comments. In your experience, Will says, in your experience, do you see the size of the company making a difference? I see a larger company being more successful at doing everything in-house, while a small company would be more efficient outsourcing. I'd be curious to hear your take on that. That's a good question. Thanks.
That is a fantastic question. Sorry, I'm adjusting my audio again. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, Hormozi talks about this. I mean, I'll steal it from him just because I think it's a good framework. I think, and listen, I don't know what your revenue is, but it's an easy metric to, I'm not saying it paints all the pictures, but just look at revenue and use that for what size is, right? So let's look at 1 to 3 million a year is very bootstrappable, right? That's very freelance army-able. That's very vendor army-esque, right? It's kind of still ragtag. You have the founder doing all the sales and marketing, maybe a number 2 ops person who's probably now a VA in this economy. And at that rate, it is easier to have I think, try to hire other people to do that. Meaning, try to hire vendors, try to hire freelancers. It seems like the right way to do it because it's really cost effective. You don't have more W-2s, right? It's all the things of we're kind of staying bootstrapped, but we're trying to grow. When you do get larger and you do get bigger, let's skip all the way to 9 figures. Then you have somebody.
Let's go to 8 figures first, because 9 figures is a whole other game.
Put me in 8 figures.
100 million a year plus,
like 0 to 7.
Yeah. let's go 8-figure, 10
Yeah.
million, 15, 20, 30
Yes,
million.
yes. And I think you have more experience there. For some reason, mine are like $1 million or 250.
Solopreneur or billionaire? It's like, wait,
Literally,
hold on,
man.
dude. Yeah.
So what do you think? So that's where I'm at the 0 to 1 to 3 million mark. Like, I really do think like sometimes you don't have a choice. Like sometimes you do have to either hire a vendor because you are super bootstrapped and you have to make revenue, or you have to hire a freelancer. Like there's a lot of I have tos. But then I think as you get into 7 figures, I mean, I think that's more you would probably know more about that than I
8
would.
figures, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, or 8. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, it depends on the profit of the company too, right? So if you're like, doing 3 million a year and then your profit margins are just super slim, you may not have the ability to bring someone on and build that in-house content team. But if I was like a scrappy startup, which I'm a part of, a fractional CMO for one, like we just leverage talent abroad. And then it's like I literally gave the founder, scripts and things to go off of and guides, and we record with customers and we do interview style stuff. And then we just have a team in the Philippines that's, low cost, that really is way less than the cost of an employee. And they edit the videos and then they manage all the social media content. And she's a rock star.
Yeah.
Like I've been teaching her how to use, AI and our systems and processes and the brand and all that stuff. But like, I think you can do it super nimble for low cost, even at 1 to 3 million, as long as you're decently profitable. I think if you go up to 5 to 10 million and plus, no doubt about it, I think you should have your own in-house content team if you believe that building a brand is fundamental to the modern day business. Like if you do, then like, why would you not try to? If you don't, then that's fine. Like,
can we talk about, so can an in-house content team be 5 1099 freelancers that all meet once a week and also do all of your editing, but also take a couple other clients too? Or is that not an in-house content team?
In the States, having 1099 people in the States?
Doesn't matter.
Well, I assume it's in the States if it's 1099, right? So 1099 meaning just you're paying somebody as a contract.
A contract basis. Well, yeah. Yeah, well, you can have contractors anywhere though.
So you're saying 5 people, you're 5 people that are 1099 as your in-house content team doing what?
Doing say 5 jobs, right? So social media manager, video editor, audio editor, writer, maybe and one other thing, maybe SEO.
Right. And are they working 40 hours a week? Or just part-time gigs?
That's my question, though. Can you have people who are essentially freelance and they might take a couple other clients? Like, is that an in-house content team, or do they have to be full-time for you?
To me, when I talk about in-house content team, you need to have you need to have like a foundational something as built internally with at least one other employee that's full-time.
So we can have one full-time.
It doesn't need to be W2 though. It doesn't need to be W2.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you can have one, because this is the weeds. Like, this is what founders really need to know.
Like, I'll give you the example of me when I first started my business and I was a solopreneur in 2020. It was me, my content team was me and a full-time video editor in the Philippines.
Yep.
And that was enough because I was a solopreneur. I was scrap. I was like, I didn't have a lot of resources. So I'd film my calls. I would have a thought, film myself, do some skits every now and then just send the raw videos to the editor. And because he was part of my team and knew my process down, I didn't have to give a lot of instruction after a while. I just sent it to him and he would send it back.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't think there's necessarily I don't like play semantics where it's like, what exactly, does this count? Does this count? Is it 1099 W2? My whole point is you got to own the content process and you got to learn. Like, I think the biggest mistake that people make hiring marketing agencies and bringing them into their company to do all of their content is they don't understand or learn what success is. They don't know how to measure the content, how to create it to where it gets results. They don't know the back-end systems and processes. They're not teaching their team the fundamentals they need to be successful for the future, AI, content systems, and workflows. Yeah. And so what happens is, like, when the agency leaves after a year because they didn't get the results they want, I'm like, how did you measure success? And they're like, we didn't. Did you get any results or leads or this or that? It's like, no. It's like they never were taught. Like, if an agency actually educated and taught them, like, hey, we're going to be starting the first 3 months. These are the types of metrics we're going to be looking at. This is the type of quantitative or qualitative feedback we should be getting in the first 3 months of posting. This is what 6 months might look like. Hey, if we're not getting results, this is where we probably would want to make some adjustments, right? Hey, as we're doing this, like, what was Corey? How do we start encourage them to build some of this internally too, right? It's like, hey, you don't need us for everything. Like, this is a super important part of your business. Are you recording your calls? Are you guesting on podcasts that maybe you could record and we could repurpose that content? Like, it's really teaching them how to embed content and brand into their business that I think just gets missed sometimes when you outsource it completely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that, I mean, listen, like, even with we have a done for you company, it is, the packages are not custom. All the deliverables are. So we have a show launching tomorrow, actually. And it was maybe 15 revisions on the thumbnail. That's supposed to happen, right? But a marketing agency won't do that. They're going to go, here it is.
Right.
And then you're like, yeah, but it's not on brand and it doesn't have the fonts and the colors. They're like, but we know best, right? And so that you can hire a vendor, outsource this stuff. It's how much do they let you learn how much do you guys learn together?
Right, exactly.
And we do that with clients on the done for you side.
Yeah, exactly.
We give them only what. Now, will we say, hey, listen, if you title it and thumbnail it like this, results may be different than if you title it and thumbnail it. But you don't have to take our advice, right? Yeah. But we're working with you. Maybe the title and thumbnail are a little bit of a mix of what you want versus what we suggest. But yeah, the standard agency of like,
well, and they don't want you to know because they don't. Then you're going to take their
I've never even done.
They don't want you to know because then you're going to
7 years and not once. I've been doing done for you for longer than I've been doing done with you, and not once have I ever held anything hostage. Right? If you want to see stuff, I mean, listen. You want the SOP? It's boring as shit. Here it is. Like you can see it. I don't mind.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how to do it, right?
100%.
All right. So Corey says because we capture most of the content via Zoom, quality and depth could be increased. Exactly. So that's my point. Like, regardless of personality or how extreme or not extreme you want to be, the reality is, like, if you're relying on like virtual Zooms and restreams even like this, like for all of your content, you're just missing out on just like an incredible amount of content. I mean, and Ryan, like you post you on stage and you talking different things and you with Jack, like if you didn't have all that, dude, that you would not be the same creator. You know what I mean?
You realize that you put me here, right? Like you were the guy that told me my videos weren't good. And you were right. You don't even remember that probably. Yeah,
no, probably not.
It was probably 2022-ish. And I was like, well, your videos aren't that good. But no, your videos were good because you were doing short form. Yeah, man, we were 100%. But no, that's it. And guess what? Can you have incredible Zoom stuff? Yes, because I have another camera here, right? Like,
and
there's ways to
now,
do.
like
to your point, yeah. I mean,
this, we got boom, camera here, Jim's over there, right? So. We're obviously like we're going to record this and chat. So it's not like, if you're by your desk or in your, it's not like, if you're in your office or on Zoom, the content immediately sucks. It's just about, look, everyone's going to be able to do talking heads and already is. And then AI is going to have it where your avatars, it's going to be hard to tell. My point is like the future of content, you're going to have, if you want to be one of the best in your industry, you're going to have to separate yourself. And separating yourself means get out of your comfort zone, being able to film a little bit outside of just the digital box that you're in every day and expand the way that you create. And you don't need to be like a content creator. You just need to be able to showcase your stories and insights and the things that you're doing throughout the day as well. So we've got no echo. Good. Okay. You have to create the mindset for your clients to get into it and want to make the content for sure.
Oh, and let's talk about for just 1 second. Yeah. How honest can you really be? Right. And this is the thing with my clients where I go, this just is boring as shit. Just being real with you, right? Now, will I give you instructions to how to make it not boring as shit? Yes, yeah. That's the point. But if you're saying, well, they're recording on Zoom and like, it is what it is. Well, can you step in and say, guys, we already talked about, for example, I don't know what the industry is. We already talked about estate planning for 5 episodes. Can we do one where we go to somebody's house?
There you go, right?
And there you go, right? Or even pull it up on Zillow. Be like, this sucks. Oh, this is overpriced, right? Whatever, just different than. But that's a conversation that a lot of marketing agencies. Now, me and you run a business where we get to say that to our clients. Anybody can, but we've built that in where I go, I just tell you what you need to hear. Now, you might not love it, right? Like I worked with a client where we may have had to hire somebody new or get rid of somebody we already have. It's like, well, just because you want to get rid of somebody doesn't mean it's the right way. Here's 3 options: option A, option B, option C, right? But I think that happens a lot where you just like, you got to be able, your agency or your freelancers or your internal content team or whoever's working with you has to be able to be honest with you. And that's a huge one. Man. And it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And that's
most people are.
That's why they churn.
I'll tell you why, dude. Most people are scared to not be liked.
Yep.
Instead of making an impact on a person. So they'll not tell you something that they should tell you that will actually make a difference in your development and make you a better person professionally, personally. They'll not say something because they're like, I don't want Ryan to take this the wrong way. What if he's kind of upset with me? What if he doesn't like me as much? It's a very normal survival instinct that we have as humans. But what you have to do is push past the fear and the internal thinking about yourself and say, what is best for this individual, and let your purpose dictate your path in life, not your fears. But that's one of the best parts of the job.
Coach Alex, bro. I mean, oh my goodness.
That's a wrap.
No,
but I think that's one of the things I love about coaching is like you get to have those real conversations, right? Like, I don't think those in most cases, I'm sure you would agree. I don't think those conversations are happening within marketing agencies.
No, because
models
it's the stand.
And
this
they're
guy
creating
needs to
everything.
pay
So
me $8,000 a month so I can survive. There's no way I'm going to tell him his personality isn't
right.
Right
Exactly.
Right. No, 100%. But then that's not even the position. It's just literally the person and the values, and being. Listen, I'm willing to lose a client for honesty. I am, but not everybody is. There's another question here. It seems like I think it came from potentially you live streaming this on your end. This is I see it on my end at least. How much strategy does an agency do versus an in-house team?
What do you think? What do you guys do for agency wise?
Well, we do strategy. So we do three things, guys. Recording.
I mean, how do you first of all, how do you create content without a strategy?
Absolutely.
So I mean, to me, it's like this is the.
We start with strategy. Everybody should, no matter what.
Well, I even start even before then. Like for us, you got to start with brand. Well, just goal setting, but brand strategy, positioning.
I recommend hire Jason Vanna first. Hire somebody like that first. No, literally, like if you don't have brand dialed, if you don't have business strategy, financial strategy, and then maybe brand strategy,
makes it a lot harder to create content that works. Right.
How many times are you giving advice on brand when you're coming in just to help them create videos?
Every time.
Exactly.
Every time. We go through a whole segment with them because like they don't have a brand story. There's no, hero in the story. There's no villain. There's no positioning. Usually none of that is not there. Or if it is, it's like misaligned. They're like, we're the best in the industry. It's like, then why on your website and your LinkedIn profiles and your content, you look average as hell. So it's like, hey, how are you different? And how are we going to communicate this message? And what do we really like? What's our point of view that's unique in the industry?
Yep.
We start there. And then secondly is like the content strategy. Third is we want to build systems and processes. And a lot of that's AI and automation driven now. And then with that next step would be hiring the internal content team or deciding who's going to control what in-house and what are we going to outsource. And then 5 was developing and coaching and mentoring that content team to be able to produce results.
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah. So just 3 for us. It's strategy, recording, production. That's it, right? So we start what you mentioned. Yep. What's the story we're telling? Who's the ideal listener? Are they a prospect? Are they a client? Is it both?
Here's the
strategy.
Here's another interesting take, and I'm sure you would agree with this. I find that if the marketing companies that do the best work right now have leaders or founders that are actually out there building their personal brands and putting out content, running podcasts.
How can they not?
Well, a lot of them don't, though.
That's insane.
A lot of them don't. And then they try to give people and companies advice.
Oh, they're a mechanic, but with a shitty car.
Right. So it's like, how are you? Of course, they didn't know how to put together a brand story or design a website or do LinkedIn videos or podcasts. They don't do it. They've never done it themselves.
That's insane, man. Yeah. And listen, I get it. I could see like if you're like an ads agency, right? Or it's like if you're a cold email company and you don't post, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, if you go, listen, I don't need to post, bro. My cold emails are murdering. Fine, right?
Yeah.
But if you are going organic content strategy and there's the last post was the trade show.
Right. Because nowadays every marketing agency feels like they have to be able to talk about video and implement video because everyone wants video and it's like the hot thing and it's all across the social channels. It's kind of hard to exist without video these days. The problem is if you're not actually a practitioner and putting out video content yourself every day, which is like why I talk about LinkedIn ads, because I fucking run them and get results.
Yep.
Why do I talk about organic LinkedIn and YouTube? And we now have over 13,000 subscribers because I run the shit, right? Like I do it myself.
Who do you want to be though? Right? It's like, do you want to be that person? Like, yes, if the answer is yes, then let's see it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And
bad agencies bad, it's just, it all comes from the top. Right.
And I don't do every function of the content marketing myself. Like we have a team, I have 4 editors, right? We have a content director.
Yeah, we have like 7. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, but that's just for mine.
Yeah. I got 5
for your own content.
Yeah, for my own content. Well, yeah, in terms of different styles of content. Yeah, for sure.
Right. For podcasts, because podcasting, you do, how many episodes do you do a month?
Just 4. Yeah. I just run the system we sell.
You have 5 editors to do a podcast and how many video clips?
Well, they also do client work too. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Oh, yeah. I don't
was
have
gonna say,
5 of my own full-time guys who are waiting for my next episode.
Yes.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, dude, that's a lot to be pumping out. Yeah, for sure. What else? Did we not get to any of the questions?
No, I think we hit all the questions, in my opinion.
I got to roll in like 2 minutes. So
yeah, man. No, I know.
What else we got?
Oh my God, man. No, this is why. Yeah, but okay, let's go super meta.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you see things going?
Well, I would start with this. Doing this is not easy to do. Like, it is easy for us to get on here and just talk or whatever, but like, you got to coordinate it. We've been setting it up for months. Like, when we say, who do you want to be? Like, this is what we mean. The reason why me and you are sitting here is because nobody else will do this. Unless I do it, nobody's going to do it. So whatever that is for your industry, that's what we're talking about. You have to be the one to set up a webinar. The next one, whatever, we'll do something in Chicago, or maybe we'll go to Austin and do something with Chris Walker. But it's ideas, right? But then doing it, right?
Yeah, and it's like,
that's what, like, this in itself is us taking our own medicine. And I wish I did more of these. I should do more of them, but that's really what we don't take anything we say. You don't have to. Just look at what we do. I just run the system I sell. Alex just runs the system he sells, right? No matter our opinions on the minutia of the details, right? At the end of the day, to your question, where is it going? Well, start with, to your point, I say start with long form video. You could start whatever type of video you want, because then you can transcribe it into the rest. The future is AI and video, right? It's AI balancing that out with super duper human stuff to balance, and then video. Mm-hmm. That's the future. Right? Yeah. And the present, by the way. Mm-hmm. YouTube's the top search platform beyond Google, right? If you want to do text, man, you're at Facebook, which who likes that? X, which is a disaster, and Reddit.
Everything is hard.
Yes.
So it's like I love the saying, like, pick your hard. Absolutely. Like, you started a fucking business. That shit was hard. Yeah. Right. You're not on the path of easy, right? There's plenty of paths that you could do that are easy, but when you choose the easy stuff in life, life becomes hard. When you choose the hard stuff in life becomes easy. So you started a business, you're a founder, you're a CEO, you're probably on stages. Maybe you're thinking about writing a book. My thought is just start getting some of that stuff out there. Start using your smartphone.
Do a podcast, transcribe it all, and there's your book. And I'm not even kidding. Like, our clients do that.
Start with your own little team where you just record yourself and you have an editor out, abroad, and that's the start, right? It's like, so pick your hard. I would rather invest heavily in my brand, because it is the one thing that I can put money and resources and time into, and almost 100% continue to compound ROI against. Like, there's not many things that you can really say that. No one can take away my personal brand. I will have it for the rest of my life. It will continue to compound. I will continue to meet amazing people like yourself. I'll continue to win clients. I'll continue to get invited on to speak on stages, virtually, in person. I will continue to bring customers into my business, because I have decided that this is an important aspect of the business, which is why I'm going to, as much as I can, try to learn it, embed it, and own it in my business.
Yeah. Mic drop, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Dude, you're the man.
I need more of these. If you have anybody who you think we should get on, just let me know. I'd love to do
live. Yeah, of course, dude.
100%.
Get Vanna, get Jason on, dude.
I know. Oh, I asked him. We're in the works. But
not regular Jason, sassy Jason.
No, sassy. Oh my God, the amount of bombs he's gonna drop. I'm not even gonna ask any questions. I'm just gonna let him rant for an hour.
Jason's cool. But he actually lives down the street from me.
I know, man. I want to get down there so we can do a real.
Dude, you definitely should. I would love to have you on the podcast, man.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Man. Sounds good, dude. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Jeff, appreciate you setting this up, brother. Always good talking with you, man. You're the man.
You too. Thanks for the back and forth. Appreciate you. You guys know where you can find him on LinkedIn, everywhere else. Alex B. Sheridan, Impacts Marketing.
Peace.
Deuces, y'all. Catch you guys. Appreciate you. All right, folks. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That was Alex B. Sheridan for the debate. We did another one with Chris Walker. If you want to go Google search that, if you look up Chris Walker, Ryan Sullivan, you're going to find 2 podcast episodes there. And appreciate you watching if you're tuning in on the live. And if so, make sure you go and connect with us on all the social platforms or anywhere where you're connecting or watching this right now. And then we have the Spotify and YouTube. It's called The Ryan Sullivan Show. It could not be easier. Go ahead and give that a Google, and that's where you're going to find the recording of this too. Appreciate you. We're going to end this out, and we'll see you on the next one. Let us know who we should have on next.